Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or of course, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot if this is your very first time here. Thank you so much for joining me today for our kickoff pick a card reading for the Blossoms and Blessings Week 2025. Hence, my decor looks a little bit different today. I went with like a cozy nighttime garden vibe to reflect our celebration of the season. So, also very fitting for the season. Our topic today is planting seeds, what to sow now for a reward later. We're going to tap into your spirit guides and ask them, what should you be starting now that will bloom into a blessing later? So without further ado, let us pick our piles to choose our messages with. Very fittingly, we have the Seed and the Sickle Oracle. So spirit guides connecting with our community today to start this wonderful springtime reading. Could you please help us choose the right cards for them to pick their piles with? Thank you. What should they start now for a reward later? Okay, there's pile 1 for sure. And then for pile 2, I'm feeling this one towards the middle. And let's pick this one for pile 3. Okay, excuse me. Let's unveil the cards together. So for pile 1 over here on the left, we have, very pretty Birch. And if you're interested in the number, it is number 1 in the deck. Pile 1, number 1, very fitting. Birch. For pile 2 here in the middle, we have Datura, also known as Moonflower, with the number 52. And last but not least, over here on the right for pile number 3. Oopsie, there we go. Okay, I'll quit being a perfectionist. Okay, sorry, pile 3. Your card today is, cute, Lavender. Number 16. So a quick refresher, pile 1 today is Birch, pile 2 is Datura or Moonflower, pile 3 is Lavender, though of course you are always welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you. I'll go through a quick little meditation method I like to use for those of you who are new to pick a card reading. So my suggestion is close your eyes. Take in a deep breath for about 4 seconds long, and as you do that, imagine breathing in light into your lungs and your heart space. Hold it. And then when you let it back out again, imagine breathing out negativity and however that intuitively depicts itself to you. And when you open your eyes again, what are you first drawn to? What feels right in your gut? And that's what I always say to trust. Trust that intuition. And then whenever you're ready, whatever your method, if you use mine or you just picked whatever looked the coolest, of course, you can always do that too. You can drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the reading. Find the timestamp there for your pile, click on it, and I'll see you in our little chat about what to sow now for a reward later. Toodaloo. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what to sow now for a reward later. As you recall, your pile leader you chose and were drawn to was the beautiful birch tree, number 1. So, as always, we'll set our pile leader off to the left, and I want to begin drawing some cards from both Lenormand and Tarot. So, connecting to spirit guides for pile 1 today, we want to know if there's something you think that they should start planting or doing now that will result in a blessing later. 2 cards, please. What should they sow? What will they reap? Okay, my eye was already drawn to this one for what to sow and what to reap later on. And let us draw our tarot cards as well. Okay, 5, please. Thank you. Very fittingly using the Ostara Tarot today. Perfect for spring, right? And this one, I believe, for not pile 5, card number 5. Okay, let's unveil the cards together, pile 1. So, what to sow? we have the owls, or the birds as they're most normally known in Lenormand, or commonly I should say. And the owls or the birds are something about communication, speaking, talking, chatting, gossip, communication in general, in every form that can take shape. And then what you'll reap, this is what this Lenormand card represents, is something to do with a child, or something to do with youthfulness or optimism or hope in something. So it can literally mean something to do like physically with a kid. Maybe you are a parent and you have a kid in your life that you've been kind of wondering about, like something you've been concerned about lately. Or it could be that this is a card representing something of the nature of children. So something like, as I was saying before, their unyielding optimism, their playful nature, their hope for things in the future, things like that, some levity. So let's glean some more detail. That's kind of vague right now, but we'll glean more detail with the tarot cards that we drew. Communication towards a child. Okay, then we have the Fool. Speaking of youthful energy, pile 1, we have the Fool. Very first card in tarot. It's a new beginning, which is also very fitting with your Birch card. Now, I didn't say this quite yet because I was going to tie it into the reading later, but how fittingly the Fool came out. And literally that Birch card in the Seed and Sickle Oracle, pile 1, represents new beginnings, just as the Fool does. It's a card of clearing away the old and making way for the new. So it almost feels like it's an encouragement towards starting a new journey about something, or towards something. Let's see what else you get. We have the Ace of Cups reversed. Okay, something to do with relationships, a new feeling, a new friendship, partnership. Let's get some more cards on the table. The King of Swords is the core or the heart of the matter. Communication, mastering communication, which is funny because you did get that with the owls, right? Communication is very prominent of a theme here. We have the Four of Pentacles reversed, releasing resources or needing to. And then last but not least, we have the Emperor as the outcome. Emperor is masculine energy, pile 1. It is all about structure, authority, power, defending things, protecting things. So let's see. One moment, pile 1. You know, pile 1, it almost feels to me that the journey that your spirit guides are recommending you to go on is more of an internal journey than it is an external one. So this reading is going to be a little bit more about emotions. It's going to be a little bit more about spirituality rather than something explicitly tangible. However, as we all know, when we make changes internally, that reflects our external reality. So down the line, it'll result in good rewards outside of yourself, the tangible ones, right? But this is a reading about something changing tangibly for the better inside. And specifically what I am hearing from your spirit guides is there's a need to close doors and start opening new ones in terms of your relationships. Okay, because you have the Ace of Cups reversed as the card right after the new beginning, after the Fool and then the Birch tree, okay? And then 2, the Owl's communication can sort of represent in Lenormand, at least for me personally, like our group that we chat with, our friend group, you know. Could even mean like our family group, you know, maybe even like a company, like a work group, you know, people that you interact with and communicate with every single day, however that manifests for you specifically. In either case, though, however it manifests, in whatever kind of group, there is a nudging towards letting go of what no longer serves us with these groups and welcoming in new energy. And I think that's what that girl, the child, really represented. Because at first, remember I said, I was like, well, it could be literal a physical child or like children in your life, or it can mean as well, it can mean like the nature of like children being like youthful and optimistic It also means newness. As you can see, the girl is picking up chicken eggs, and how fitting for this time of year, right? Ostara, Easter eggs, newness, rebirth, the ushering in of everything new with the year, right? And so they're saying the reason why they want you to do that is because it almost feels like intuitively I'm hearing the word staleness. It's like, it almost feels like there is, I don't know if it's like you're getting kind of bored with where you are with these people. And it's not like a completely get rid of all your friend groups and don't talk to your family and completely change your job to a new company or anything like that. But there is something here because of the presence of the Ace of Cups reversed that's indicating maybe something's getting a little stale in terms of friendships or romantic relationships or work relationships. Okay. And communication is a really key element here, both with Lenormand and both with the King of Swords having been your heart of the matter, as I like to call it. It's almost like something where, how do I put it, Pile One? I'm sorry I'm hesitating, but I'm just making sure that I'm wording this correctly. Speaking of the King of Swords, right? Excuse the pun. But it's like, deep inside of you, there already is a sort of discontentment with what's going on in these relationships, or at least with maybe just one of them, if not multiple, right? And it's like up until this point, you haven't really been able to put words to it. You haven't maybe even consciously recognized it, I'm hearing. And so this communication with the King of Swords and the Owls almost speaks to me of, like, once you admit to yourself, there's something I'm not quite happy with here, and you communicate that to the universe, so now we're getting kind of into the spiritual level of the reading, right? Putting that intention out there of, I'm not 100% happy with where my relationships have been kind of stale over here. I want new energy. Clearing out the old, right? Almost like we do spring cleaning. We clean out the old dust and old things that we don't need anymore to make room for the new, because this is where our life is at this cycle around. Okay. It might have served us in the past. That old piece of furniture, that old chair, that, but now maybe it's got some rips. Maybe that old chair, metaphorically speaking, like I said, it doesn't quite match the decor of like the new color we painted the room, or maybe, part of it is broken and we can't really fix it very easily. Of course, we don't want to be wasteful, but, something is just maybe beyond salvaging. So what we do, we clear it out to make room for a new chair, or even something different. Make it a meditation corner. Make it a bookshelf. Of course, we're using that as a metaphor. I mean, maybe literally you want to do some spring cleaning in your house or your apartment too, but, this is using it as a metaphor for relationships in your life, okay? Because sometimes we walk through life and you do have like people that are with you the whole time, or at least in the most ideal scenario you do. But a lot of times, as we all know, people are only here temporarily, and they're only here temporarily because they're in our life for a certain reason. They walk alongside us for a short way of the path, and then they split off because their journey and your journey require new energy. Okay. So that's what I'm hearing, is don't be afraid to let go of the old that is no longer serving you, Pile One. Or, it might even manifest too in a way where it's not necessarily letting go of people. It could also mean there's something about a relationship that needs to be revitalized, needs more energy put into it to kind of bring it back to the health that it was before. So maybe you've kind of neglecting relationships a little bit because maybe you've been working really hard, you're really stressed, you've been nose to the grindstone in this area of your life, but then relationships have kind of fallen to the back burner, right? Things like that. But in either case, you're encouraged to welcome in the new. And what I'm hearing is because of that girl being the outcome, like I said, the reward, it's something that not only will bring in fresh energy into your life, it's also something where, and I'll try to glean it from the other cards, but I'm getting an intuitive sense, Pile One, that welcoming in that new energy by clearing out the old is also welcoming in an opportunity for you to meet someone or change your relationship with someone you currently know that will give you more of a youthful, optimistic outlook on life, just like how the child represents that energy in Lenormand, okay? And then, very interestingly, we have the Four of Pentacles reversed and the Emperor. Four of Pentacles, like I said, is releasing resources, okay? So, part of what you should sow, your spirit guides are saying, is investing more in the people around you as well. Invest more into tending the garden of your relationships, okay? Maybe you have, your parent over here who is like this flower that maybe needs a little bit more fertilizer because you've been focusing so much on the garden over here of, say your children or your romantic partner or work or vice versa. You can kind of just take those little different pieces and move them around because maybe you've been focusing too much on your parent and not enough on your parent partner or things like that. You know what I mean? Pile on, just kind of whatever applies to your situation, whatever resonates most. Release resources into this. Invest. That's another really great keyword with the Four of Pentacles reversed, okay? And then at the end you have the Emperor, which is a very interesting outcome for this pile one. Because not only do we have a child here, but we also have a parent card. Because the Emperor is like the dad father card. It's masculine energy, right? Protective, strong, taking action, all of those masculine energy type qualities. Okay. And I think, I'm going to tap in for one moment. Because like I said, it's a weird dichotomy of young, adult. So I'm going to ask, let's see. It's funny. What they're telling me, pile one, apologies for just the quick pause, but they're telling me that this youthful, optimistic outlook on life that the new people or new energy will usher in an ironic way, will also usher in a maturity that you haven't reached yet. Not saying that as in that you aren't mature right now, pile one, but like an even greater level of maturity and understanding of life. That's how I'm kind of seeing, or at least what they're telling me is that's like the way to interpret the Emperor in this situation. Okay. Also, too, it's something about people that will inspire more action within and of yourself. People that will maybe even protect you a little bit. Maybe it's almost like a new friend that represents this Emperor energy. Like they're a protective kind of masculine energy type person. Okay. Interesting. And two, you just have a lot of masculine energy in general in this reading. I mean, you have the King, too, the King of Swords, alongside the Emperor. So it could also mean there's something to do with your father. Okay. Relationship with father. Relationship with brothers. Relationships with, like, say your partner is a man, right? Maybe it means your relationship with that person, okay? Things like that. So that's what I meant when I said this is kind of more of a spiritual, emotional type reading. It's not like a tangible, do this thing at work, get this promotion. You know what I mean? It's more a reinvigoration and a reinvestment in things regarding your relationships, okay? For both mental, emotional, and spiritual reasons. But we do have some other cards to pull, so I'm going to grab, let's do the flower deck first. Once again, how fitting for the time of year. What else do you want to say about this, spirit guides? I also feel, because, I'm sorry, I'm just drawing this card, but with this Emperor, I feel like if it is a new person entering your life that they're wanting you to usher in, pile one, it's because they're also going to protect you from something. I know I said that they were protective before, but I think in general there's like something important that they're going to protect you from. I don't know what that is, but asters, which is Latin for star. Elegance and patience. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. By Lao Tzu is the quote author. Very interesting. Asters. And then we have, let's see, I'm going to do Nature's Whispers next. We'll talk about your flower card in a moment once everything is drawn. Oh my god, pile one. Oh my god, that's funny. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but like literally I was like, you should clear out the old and start new journeys. There you go. If you needed any more encouragement from spirit guides, that is the card that you just received. And look, another owl. How fitting. Well, I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. I spent part of the reading already on the Fool and the Birch Tree, but it is good to get some synchronicity to remind us, hey, this is something that is meaningful. This is something that is spiritually given, right? Let's also grab the Woodland Wardens is our final deck. Oh, I just love when that happens. I love when I'm giving a message pile one, and then later on there's a card that pops out that is like, oh yeah, that thing that Lone Pine was saying earlier, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to reemphasize this. Oh, that's always funny. Okay. Clear out the old. Spring cleaning. And last but not least, we've got, oh cute, the cat in lavender, and you got the number 1 again. Look at that, pile 1. Not only are you pile 1 today, but you got 1 twice. Well, you also got 1 with the ace, right? Because ace is 1 in tarot. And it means independence. Yeah, I think, too, part of this pile 1 is... Well, I'm trying to figure out what to focus on first. Sorry, I paused because I was like, well, I'll go with what the cat in lavender train of thought was. I think, too, there's a part of the spiritual, emotional journey that you're meant to go on by clearing out old relationships, or at least revitalizing ones that you have, and then also ushering in new ones, because it's going to also encourage a greater sense of independence in you. I don't want to say that maybe like you're depending too much on people right now in your current friend groups or social groups or, you know, things like that, but it's, you know, it's almost like ways of thinking I'm hearing. Because I'm really drawn to the way cats are very independent thinkers. I mean, they're not like, and I'm not saying this to like crap on dogs or cats because I love both animals, but, you know, dogs are a little bit more loyal. Dogs are a little bit more, you know, they do what you tell them to, or at least, you know, they're trained well, right? Whereas cats are independent. You can't make them do anything they don't want to do. And of course we love them for it, right? I love cats. But so that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's almost like you're meant to become a little bit more independent from your friend groups. Yes, there is more friendship coming, or the revitalization of older relationships, but at the same time, it's like with the emphasis of 1-1-1, cat, ace of cups, your birch tree card, right? It's like they want you to stand on your own 2 feet a little bit more, too. Just a little bit more. Not that you don't already do that. But it's good for your spiritual development to do so. Because there's times in life where we gain a lot of maturity and lessons and spiritual growth from other people. It's very necessary. However, there are times in life where we got to go a little bit hermit mode. Go within ourselves. And see who we are outside of a role in a group is what I'm hearing for you. Okay. And, you know, the asters is interesting with elegance and patience. I'll just say the quote. It says, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. I don't know, pile 1, if you recently have been impatient about something in relationships. Maybe that's where this discontentment is kind of stemming from. Like maybe like you've had a really good friend for a while, but then maybe they've been doing something recently that's kind of made you like impatient or has been bothering you a little bit, or it's like something about like the path that they're going on just is no longer aligned with the path that you're on. Like I don't get like a resentment out of this necessarily, or at least like not like a really strong resentment, but it feels like there's at least some sort of like, misalignment there is the best word I would use. And it's like you're kind of waiting maybe for them to change, or waiting for them to kind of become who they were before, like the person that you first became friends with or involved with, you know, depending on your relationship to them. But pile 1, that's part of their journey. And we can wait for people to change back to who we want them to be. But we also have to accept that sometimes people change for good. And like I said earlier about, you know, sometimes you have those friends that are with you for life, and sometimes you've got those friends that are only with you for a short amount of the way. This is kind of what that friend feels like to me. You know, of course, you don't have to dump them to the wayside, right? But I'm just saying there is benefit and value in looking outside of that person, becoming a bit more independent, or, you know, outside of multiple people, if it's, say it's a whole friend group, right? and being alone a little bit more on your journey towards different kinds of friendships in the future. Okay. So really, to summarize today, and I guess I didn't really talk about the Nature's Whispers, clear out the old, but it's basically a re-emphasis, that's the word I wanted to use. A re-emphasis of what the birch tree said. Clear out the old. Don't be afraid to let go of things that don't serve you anymore. Blah, blah, blah. We know it. But to summarize your reading today, pile 1, you're encouraged to start new journeys in relationships, to revitalize relationships that you want to keep, but maybe have gotten a bit stale, okay? To tangibly say to the universe, this is what I want. I want new energy, universe. I set out my intention for new relationships, for new people that serve my spiritual journey, and I serve theirs along the way, okay? Put investment into it, and know that I think there is a friend coming along, should you do this, pile 1, that is a protective energy with that Emperor, okay? Someone who will protect you. Someone who is supportive of you, okay? Because maybe that's what's been lacking in these previous relationships, right? Or maybe just a single one. Maybe someone isn't supportive enough of you. And you can wait for them to change. We have patience over here. But that doesn't mean that you can't start looking for other new relationships as well. At least in terms of friendships, right? Romantic relationships, that gets a little sticky, right? But, I mean, if you're in a committed relationship, don't... You know what I mean? Don't cheat, I guess. Obviously, but you know what I'm saying in terms of at least like friendships and things like that. Or even if it is a relationship that isn't working out in terms of romance, maybe consider this isn't the best person for me. And maybe there's someone out there who will support me more, who is more protective of me. Okay. Be willing to let go to gain anew. That is how I would summarize your entire reading in one sentence. So that is what I will leave you with today, my wonderful pile 1. Thank you so much for joining me for the very first day of Blossoms and Blessings Week 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it resonated. And if you did like it, please like, comment, and subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Please stay tuned for the rest of the week. We'll have, there's 4 more readings, one day after another after this one, okay? Please tune in if you would like to do so. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what to sow now for a reward later. As you recall, the pile leader you chose was the beautiful Datura, which I believe is in the moonflower family, or they're related, one of the two. And your number with that was number 52. So, as always, we set our pile leader over to the left, and let's begin the reading with a little bit of a drawing of Lenormand and tarot. So, spirit guides calling for pile 2 today. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your help. Could you please provide a few cards for us to explain more about what they should sow now for a reward later? Let's first ask what they should sow and what the reward is. 2 cards. Thank you. All right. That's what you should sow. We'll reveal that in a moment. And I'm feeling this one is the reap. And then for tarot today, we have the very fitting Ostara Tarot. Perfect for this time of year. 5 cards for this one as well, please. Thank you, spirit guides. Well, definitely that one. Okay. And there is 5. Let's reveal the first set of cards together. So, what you should sow. Oh, fish. Okay, so the fish pile 2 in Lenormand is all about business transactions, finances, exchange, currency, and sometimes you could see it as maybe starting a company, starting a new venture, investing money, things like that. So your spirit guides want to talk today about money and maybe business, maybe even your job. That could be another thing that this relates to. So business, finances, exchange, and then what you will reap from it. Okay, so this is the star card in Lenormand in pile 2. What the star means is our goals, our hopes, our dreams, just like he is looking and circumnavigating using Polaris, which is the North Star. And when we say North Star, at least when I do, I won't speak for everybody. Like if you say, oh, this is my North Star, we always think about like, this is my guiding goal. This is my guiding hope or my dream, just like Polaris is for finding compass north, not magnetic. And so what I'm hearing from these cards already is something to do with your job or a business to start now that will lead you to a goal that you have in mind later. Okay, just to set the reading. Let's unveil your tarot cards to hear more. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. Okay. The Queen of Swords reversed can be about our internal monologue, how we speak to ourselves. It can mean someone that feminine energy needs to speak up for themselves more. And the colors are kind of like your Datura, which is interesting. Let's do that, actually. Uno momento, we're going to put your Lenormand up on each side to make more room with our limited space. Okay. Without further ado, we also have the Emperor. Interesting. Pile 1 also had the Emperor today, and the Emperor is all about masculine energy. It can mean fatherly energy. It can mean protectiveness. It can mean power, authority, logical structure, things like that. Heart of the matter today is we have another masculine figure. We have the King of Cups reversed. As much as this is about something about business or your money or your job, pile 2, you're kind of like pile 1 today, where a lot of your reading is going to be about the mental and emotional aspect of something. Very interesting. Apparently that's a theme for our community today. We also have the Page of Cups reversed. Another court card, which can mean something that is not a surprise, needing to explore our feelings more. And last but not least is the outcome. Look at that, pile 2. You got the star in both Lenormand and Tarot. And it's pretty much the same dang thing. Our hopes and our faith in things, our goals, our dreams. Okay. So, pile 2, I just want to say right off the bat, if there is something that you've been really, really hoping for, a big goal in mind, maybe a big entire lifelong dream, the path that you're on, should you start it now, will lead to that dream. You got the star twice, like I said, not just as the outcome card from Tarot, but the outcome card from Lenormand. It's quite emphasized here from your spirit guides. So let's look over your other cards and see a little bit more detail. One moment, I'll just take a drink from my voice and look over your cards. And remembering your Datura over here, your Moonflower, in the Seed and Sickle Oracle Guidebook, the Datura represents finding something that you have lost. Finding something that you thought had been missing, pile 2. And so, I don't think this is something that is a surprise to you. It's not something new. Because, well, you also got the Page of Cups reversed, which I sometimes read as, oh, it's not a surprise. It's like, oh, well, that makes sense, right? I think this has been in your mind for a very long time, or in your heart. But I think part of the issue is that for up until this point, pile 2, you've had a negative self-narrative, is how I'll put it, about whether or not you think you're good enough for this, whether or not you think you deserve it, whether or not you think you can pull it off. Okay. So, like I said, this is where the emotional, mental, spiritual type part of the reading comes in. What spirit guides are telling me, though, is that despite this negative self-monologue with the Queen of Swords reversed as your first card, boop, right next to it you have the Emperor. And emperors are really good at getting things done, pile 2. They're masculine energy. They take action. They've got power. They're good about physical manifestation and achieving things outside of ourselves. That's, masculine energy, right? Action. Okay. Things like that. And so it's almost like your spirit guides are saying, pile 2. You're thinking of yourself as a pauper of skill when really you're a king or a queen of skill in this dream that you've been seeking or wanting your whole life. The only thing holding yourself back, and I know it's cliche, pile 2, forgive me, but the only thing holding yourself back is you. Because the heart of the matter is the King of Cups reversed. And the King of Cups reversed is, well, sometimes it can represent a masculine figure that is not wise with their emotions, not good with relationships, but it can also represent, in terms of ourself, the inability to take action on our emotions, or taking action on emotions too heavily, and how that represents, or not represents, blah, 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 manifests, that's the word I want to use. How that manifests in you, pile 2, is negative self-narrative, overriding the goal that you're seeking. Okay. That's an emotion out of control. Fear, insecurity, lack of belief in self. Okay, and I think you already know this. The Page of Cups, like I said, reversed, not a surprise. The goal that I'm talking about isn't a surprise to you. You probably had it your whole life. Page of Cups reversed is not a surprise to yourself. I think you know that you have a negative self-narrative. But one of the hardest things in life, pile 2, and I can speak from personal experience, is knowing that we're stopping ourselves, yet not stopping ourselves from stopping ourselves. And I know I said that 3 times. Say that 3 times fast, right? Because it's easier said than done. We can recognize that we have a negative self-narrative, but sometimes it's so deeply entrenched, pile 2, we still let it get in the way. It's almost like knowing there's that monster we have to face, that we have to fight to get to the treasure hoard behind it. We'll use that metaphor, right? And we know we can't get to that treasure hoard that we want really bad until we defeat the monster. But this is a situation where it's like the monster is ourselves. The monster is our own shadow stepping in the way. And the only person that can get that shadow out of the way, that has control over what angle at which it portrays itself, is you, because it's your own shadow. Okay? So this is a reading too about fighting your shadows to get towards your goals. And I swear to God, I didn't even recognize this when I was just talking about shadows. Look what's happening in the Page of Cups. Who's casting a shadow of a wolf? Okay, or it could be a coyote technically, I suppose, but canine of some sort. Casting shadows. You're casting your own shadow, pile 2. And you can take your hands down and stop telling yourself that shadow puppet story about, I'm not good enough for this. Like, literally, he's telling a story, too. How fitting, right? I love synchronicities. But that will get you to your goal. Because, pile 2, what spirit guides are saying, this is a fantastic outcome. This is exactly... picture in your mind with this goal. What is the best outcome you can dream of with this? Say it's starting a business, like we talked about the fish, right? We'll just use that as an example, but it might be different things for multiple people. Say it is starting a business, pile 2. What does the utmost success of that look like to you? Does that look like, opening your own storefront? Does that look like becoming a CEO of a major company that expands its reach and the way it touches lives even farther than just your town? It could be something as simple as, I just want to start a small smide. Can't talk today. I was going to say a small smide. A small side business. There you go. I got my words out. I want to start a small side business. That's just enough to support my hobby of whatever it is I create. And that's whatever your goal is, pile 2. What Spirit is saying with all those stars, if you start now, that outcome is possible on the timeline that you're currently on. If you could gain and muster the courage to start. today. Overcoming that shadow beast in your way. That annoying little voice that says, you're not good enough, you can't do that. You know, that stupid thing that we all have is just like, I guess not everybody has it, but I've known, including myself, and also a lot of other people that have that negative self-narrative, okay? It's really sad how many people live their lives in a fear of, or what's a better way to put that? It's sad that they live their lives in a way of not reaching for what they want because they don't think they're good enough to get it. Right? A life where the only switch they need is a quick little, yeah, maybe I don't think I'm good enough, but I'm going to try it anyways. I don't think I can reach that goal, that star I'm reaching for. Reaching for that star. But I'm going to try anyways. Okay, so this is a belief in self-reading too, pile 2. Let's also grab some other decks we have. Let's see, Botanical Inspirations with Flowers. How fitting. I went all out with flowers today. I thought it would be, Blossoms and Blessings week, right? See what else your spirit guides have to say. Well, that was quick. We have the Garden Heliotrope. Oh my god, pile 2. I swear to God. Devotion and Dreams Fulfilled. Okay, I don't know how many times, and I know this is probably really repetitive, and you're probably like, oh my god, you're just regurgitating the same thing, but literally the same card came out. It says, Devotion and Dreams Fulfilled. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. That was Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm not even going to expand on that card much, pile 2, because literally, remember what I was just saying? I was like, if you start now, that dream is possible. The future belongs to those who believe, remember that keyword, in the beauty of their dreams. Okay, so I won't even blab too much about that card because, same thing. Believe in yourself. Okay, and then we also have, let's see, Nature's Whispers. God, that's been happening a lot today, pile 2. It happened with pile 1 as well. I had a card come out that was literally like something I talked about for the longest time. And then another card popped out that was like reiterating it. I was like, oh, okay. I love those synchronicities. Okay, we have Ideal Course of Action, number 37. God, who was it that I saw? Sometimes I do a little bit of a meditation before each reading, pile 2. And I saw dandelions for pile 1 with theirs, but I almost wonder if it might have been for you because there's dandelions in this card right here. And dandelions, the way that I interpreted it when I was looking into it with the meditation, was of course wishes fulfilled, right? You wish on a dandelion and you blow the seeds. I think that was really meant for you, pile 2. In fact, I even have it in my notes here. You can kind of see it right here. What did I say? I said dandelion wishes. Maybe you don't see that on camera, but yeah. Dandelion wishes. That was a meditation I did. So ideal course of action. I think you've already even got a great plan for it too, pile 2. So if you've just been planning and planning and planning and you never pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Okay. Once again, easier said than done. But your spirit guides are saying you already kind of know the way. Just like this path towards this castle. She knows the way. The only thing she has to do is take the first step. Okay. And then we also have, last but not least, the Woodland Wardens. Final card. Okay. Sorry. One moment. Had to put my screen back on I always keep my phone next to me with a timer for the readings, so my screen went black. We have the Deer and the Oat with Healing. Healing. So, pile 2, once again, that's kind of a reiteration of what I was saying when it comes to in terms of like healing your shadows and fighting your own monsters, which is your own shadow, right? Stopping you. So I won't talk about that too much because we already, mentioned that. But at the same time, there's something about this journey towards this goal that you have in mind that will also heal something else in you, I'm hearing. And I think it's one of those ironic things where you think before you have to, or you think before you take a step for something, that you have to muster a certain inner resource. Say belief in yourself, right? That's kind of the overarching theme we've had here. Before I take that first step, I have to believe in myself. But the irony with this, I'm seeing pile 2, with that healing now just come out, is you're not going to have that belief in self until you just do it anyways, not having the belief in self and going on the journey and finding that belief in self along the way. So if you've been kind of waiting and biding your time thinking, oh, I just got to muster up the gumption. Oh, I just have to muster up my, cojones, I guess we'll say it, my cojones, right? To do this thing, you're not going to ever get there. You're never going to muster that up till you just do it. And doing it is the ticket to finding that belief in yourself, to healing that lack of belief. Okay. What a beautiful reading, pile 2. Let's see if there's anything else I want to expand on. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So, I mean, to summarize everything, pile 2, like I said, if there's a dream that you've been waiting for, please don't hesitate anymore on pulling the trigger on it. And then I did see, and it's once again really funny, pile 2. Because remember I said I had done a meditation for every single pile today, and pile 1 had the dandelion and wishes, and you had the setting sun was the imagery that came forward for you. And it's funny because pile 1 today, their reading was about like a new beginning or like closing an old chapter, which makes sense with the setting sun. And for you, their imagery, the dandelion wishes, makes more sense for you. So I don't know if you were also drawn to pile 1 today. If you have the time, you might be interested in also watching that pile. But in any case, though, with the setting sun, pile 2, it's like this action towards your dream will end a chapter in your life, like with the setting sun. Okay. And I think the chapter that it is ending is what I talked about earlier about letting go of a way of living where you're not living to your most fulfilled. Okay. Finding what you've lost. Like the Datura means. It means a missing element, finding what you've lost. Okay. I think what you've lost, pile 2, is the ability to believe that good things can happen. So, I mean, like I said, easier said than done, and maybe you've been knocked around by life a lot, pile 2. Maybe that's why this belief in self is kind of withered, because maybe you've already even tried it and it didn't work out, and you thought, well, crap. Why should I try again if I'm just going to keep hitting a wall? But I'm telling you, pile 2, there's so many synchronicities in this reading from your spirit guides that are telling me, please try again. Or try for the first time, even if it didn't work out, or if in life you have come across a lot of disappointments. Just because we failed in the past doesn't mean it's not a guarantee of failure tomorrow. Okay. So, maybe first work a little bit on the negative self-talk. Okay. And once you've gotten it to the point of at least not letting it stop you, invest in that dream. Start it. Okay. And that negative self-talk will mend itself along the way. Because this journey, pile 2, is not so much, it is, fulfilling the dream. Yes, that is the external thing. But internally, it's also healing yourself. Defeating that shadow, finally. That's maybe been hanging over you for your entire life so far. Okay. So, that is where I will leave you with your reading today, my wonderful pile 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you liked it. I hope it resonated. If it did, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Start today if you can with that dream. Okay. Start today. All right. Wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 2. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading on the topic of what to sow now to receive a reward for it later. As you recall, the pile leader you chose was the beautiful Lavender with the number 16. Okay, so we'll set that over to the left here as we always do with our pile leaders. And to start your reading today, I want to tap into Lenormand and Tarot. So Spirit Guides calling for pile 3 today. We would like to know what they should do now that will result in a reward later. 2 cards from Lenormand, please. First is what they should sow. Second will be what they reap. Thanks. So what to sow and what to reap. Now the tarot cards. And very fittingly, we're using the Ostara Tarot today. Perfect for the season. 5 cards, please. Spirit guides for this one. Two, 3. They're all quite prominent. 4. And 5. Beautiful. Okay, let's reveal your first set of cards. My wonderful pile 3. So, what to sow was the bottom one. Interesting. We have the clover. Once again, also fitting for this time of year. Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. I don't know if this reading is going up on St. Patty's, but it's around that time. Anyways, happy St. Patrick's Day. Whether it's belated or early. Okay, so we have the clover. So number 2 in Lenormand. The clover is all about luck. It's all about happening upon something that feels like a little blessing in our path, like we happen upon a 4-leaf clover. Interesting for the sow part. Sowing luck. And for what you reap. Interesting. We have the ship, a journey, an adventure somewhere, moving forward. Forward momentum is like another interpretation. Huh. Very, very odd set of cards. Sorry, I'm hesitating, pile 3. But I'm just curious. Clover and ship. Okay, let's draw the tarot cards. We'll get more of a picture. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. We have the Knight of Pentacles as taking action in terms of career, finances, material things. Trudging on through the snow in this particular depiction. There we go. Secondly, we've got the 9 of Swords reversed, relieving an anxiety or worry. Okay. If you've been worried about something lately, pile 3. I almost called you pile 2. I think it's because I was looking at the 2 on their clover. 4 of Swords reversed, becoming active. So there's also a sense of something having been in stasis as well. Okay, and then we've got the 7 of Pentacles. How fitting for this reading. This literally is the Sow Seeds Now card. Okay, 7 of Pentacles. Planting seeds for the future. And we have the 4 of Wands. Lots of 4s. We've got the 4 of Swords and 4 of Wands. And your Lenormand is 2, 3, and then you've got 2 4s. So progression, moving forward, forward momentum, like I was saying with the ship. Let me look over your cards, pile 3. Oh, and that was another thing. For this particular reading, pile 3, I did a little bit of a meditation before every single pile. And I wrote it down as well as some notes about your pile leader card, your Lavender, right? And what was interesting was with your pile, the meditation I did for you resulted in like a sour taste in the mouth, specifically something about lemon. It's very odd, but just hear me out. And I interpreted it as there's something that you hate changing into something you don't hate. Or maybe hate is too strong of a word. It was just like, specifically, it was like a lemon drop. Because normally when you taste lemon flavor, right, pile 3, it's kind of like, ugh, sour. Ugh. But then it's like adding a little bit of sugar to it makes lemon flavored candy taste really good. Even though normally we would take lemon flavor and it would be like just way too bitter, way too sour. And so it almost feels like there's something in your life right now that you're either trying to we have the anxiety of the 9 of Swords. You're worried about something. So it's like you're worried about it. You're trying to move away from it. You're trying to avoid that thing that's making you worried. You're trying to get to a better place, I guess is what I'm hearing. But I think a lot of your focus has been on forward momentum, when really there's something about where you are right now that you could change, and it would make it so that you wouldn't even need to make that journey away anyways. Does that kind of make sense? I know that was kind of a lot, pile 3, in a row, but I guess to summarize it more shortly, it's place you are in right now, not 100% happy with it. So you're I want to move forward, take a different path. But what spirit guides are saying for you today is you don't have to move forward or away. There's a way that you can change where you are right now that will make it all the sweeter. Okay. Especially for those of you in situations where it's obviously excluding situations where where you're at right now, there's no way of redeeming it, in terms of say a bad relationship or just an awful job, right? So for those of you that's it's absolutely awful, yes, please move forward. But I think for a lot of you it's I almost wonder if you haven't given it enough of a chance, or there's something beneficial to staying that outweighs the cost you're feeling right now of staying at, say, maybe a job that, it could be a job that you started, pile 3, that you're not 100% happy with, and you're I don't know, maybe I should move on to something new, but your spirit guides are saying, wait a minute. Wait. And how I interpret this, especially with luck, the clover being what to sow now, is it's almost like having to make your own luck. Because sometimes things are they're completely in the universe's hands, pile 3, right? Sometimes we have to wait for what the universe will give us or what the universe will change for us. But sometimes the universe puts the power in our hands and says, how are you going to change your own luck? What power do you have in your hand right now that could make where you are at better without my involvement? Meaning, the universe getting involved, right? And so it's almost an empowering reading too, because it's I think with this situation, I'm getting the sense of feeling like a victim of circumstance, but at the same time, pile 3, you have more power than you think you do. And I think that's why the heart of the matter is the 4 of Swords reversed. It's becoming active, stepping into our power, waking up and going, oh, I don't just have to lie down and take this. I mean, kind of like the rabbit here. I can change where I am at. I can change my situation. I don't have to be worried all the time. I don't have to just let this suck and run away from it. I can change how much it sucks, right? Like I said, of course, excluding extreme examples like really bad relationship, really bad job. Just want to put that in there because I know sometimes when I do readings and I say things like that, people are like, well, I'm in this really awful situation. And I'm like, yes, please leave that, right? But excluding that, right? And that will bring you the forward momentum you're looking for. Making luck where you are will break through and put you on the journey to where you want to be. Okay. And very interestingly, you do have the 4 of Wands at the end. We'll talk about that in a second. But that's kind of fitting along with what I'm seeing here intuitively. Okay. So taking action in things like career and finances and home with the Knight of Pentacles. We're leaving a worry. We're trying to get away from worry. We're trying to get away from anxiety. This place doesn't feel great. But it's in our power to change what this situation is. We don't have to run. We can stand and fight. Okay. Planting seeds for the future. That's what the Seven of Pentacles is all about. Pile 3. That is another indicator this is in your power. That's literally what the Seven of Pentacles is all about, Pile 3. It's a self-empowerment card in terms of our finances, career, money, material things. And the interesting card is that Four of Wands reversed at the very end. And that means there's something that we can change. As I was saying ad nauseum earlier, is in our power to change within our home. And that could literally mean your physical home, Pile 3, but it can also mean our home in terms of like our situation around us. To make it balanced again. To make it happy again. Okay. So, I mean, it's kind of summarize the entire reading, and I for some reason, I'm being really inclined to kind of put it in a funny way. So I hope it resonates, Pile 3, but it's almost like instead of like weaning out a little bit over here, being a wiener about it, and running away from it, and being like, I don't want to deal with this, I'm going to run away. Your spirit guides are putting a sword in your hands and saying, stand up and fight where you are and defend your claim here. Okay. Hopefully no one's offended by me calling them a weenie, but no, you're not a weenie, Pile 3, not at all. Like, there's reasons why you're unhappy with where you're at. And it's not like you're crazy for being unhappy. It's just that they're like, don't give up quite yet if you don't have to. Okay. And where you are. And I didn't even talk about the Lavender yet. Your Lavender card, very interestingly, there's 2 different interpretations for it in the Seed and Sickle Oracle. One interpretation is that it's about self-care, because very often we associate lavender with taking care of ourselves because it's used in a lot of, bath products and body products and things like that. But very fittingly, Pile 3, and I just realized this as I was looking at the card, the other interpretation is sometimes it's in how you look at things that changes their quality to you, or the way that you present things that changes the quality of something. So once again, that feels like it's just another reiteration of that message I was telling you about, where it's like, I think you're looking at your current situation in the wrong way. Like, there's a silver lining here that you're not acknowledging yet. Okay? Because it's about how it's presented to you. I mean, maybe it could even be that someone else influenced you to think badly of this situation or this job or whatever your particular scenario might be, where someone else presented it to you as, oh, this thing is crappy. And so it kind of like you put it in your own mind of like, oh, yeah, it is crappy, isn't it? But then it's like, did you really stop and think, hey, wait a minute. Is this really as bad as someone said it was? Or is there something that's redeeming to it that I haven't acknowledged yet because I'm so afraid of it just being as awful as I think or as other people think it is that I just want to run away. Okay. So, let's grab your other cards, Pile 3. Let's see. I would like to do the Botanical Inspirations first. It's a flower deck, how fitting. Any other advice or maybe direction for Pile 3 today? Wonderful spirit guides. What else should they sell with this? Okay, you've got 2 flower cards. We've got the Magnolia. Is for sure the first one. Nobility and self-esteem. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow men. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self. So, it was by Ernest Hemingway, by the way, is the quote origin. And it's like that quote we always say at Pile 3 about, don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself today to who you were yesterday, okay? There's some element of that they're giving you as a piece of advice. So it's almost like, Here, and I'm also going to just take a drink as I look at this card. I'm trying to think about the way I want to word this, but I think maybe part of the reason why you might want to run is because you think that you've already made a mistake here and it's just irredeemable. Like, just using a tangible example, pile 3, maybe it's like a new job that you started and like you made like a bit of an oopsie and you're like, oh god, I ruined it. They think I suck here. Holy crap, I'm irredeemable. I gotta leave. I gotta go somewhere where I can find a new reputation or something, like a fresh slate. Just as an example that might not apply to all of you. Or it might be like maybe you started a new job and there's someone else there that has a similar role and you're like, oh my god, they're so much better than me. I feel so inadequate. So there's some element of self-esteem here where it's like spirit guides are saying like, wait a minute, put the brakes on. Just hold on. One moment. Pile 3, maybe you're worrying too much about this. You don't need to run. Maybe you just need to rethink the way that you see your own role and purpose and skill and self-esteem in the situation. Okay. Things like that. And then last but not least, we have the yellow rose, enthusiasm. Remember I was like, I think maybe it's the way you're looking at it, your enthusiasm and friendship. A single rose can be my garden, a single friend, my world by Leo Buscaglia. That is all about, it's the way you look at it, enthusiasm. View this situation, if it's not completely awful, as a friend instead of an enemy. Say if it's like a challenge in your way too. Maybe it's you're running away from a challenge, pile 3. View this challenge as your friend that's like spotting you at the gym, who's like trying to encourage you to work out or something like that. Like, maybe, they yell at you to do more reps. Maybe they're a little bit tougher on you. Using this challenge, in the metaphor of a friend, right? Maybe they're not the type of friend that's going to sit there and just, woo, cheer you on and, oh, you're doing great. Oh, it's amazing, right? But sometimes we need situations in life that push us a little bit more to our limits, like that, using this example of the friend at the gym that's like, hey, do more reps, you're weak, right? Obviously, you don't want a friend that does that. I'm exaggerating a bit, but challenges come into our lives because it's meant to test our limits, to see what our mettle is, what we're really made of, pile 3. And I think that's why your spirit guides, and once again, there's one of your spirit guides I feel that is like, I don't want to say a gym bro, because obviously, like, I'm sorry, oh my god. There's a humorous element here too. I don't know if you have a spirit guide that's also just really funny. Like, they use humor a lot, but anyways, not a gym bro, but like someone who's tough like that, I guess is probably a better way of putting that. Oh my god, now I'm on like a whole gym bro stint. Anyways, forget the gym bro crap. Back to the rewind challenge. That's what I was on. We're given challenges because it's supposed to push us to our limits. It's supposed to test our mettle and what we're made of. Okay. So if we view the challenge as an opportunity to show what we're made of rather than as something scary that we need to run away from, that can completely change our perspective, how it's presented, remember, like the lavender, on what this is and our enthusiasm for dealing with it. Okay. Instead of going, that's an obstacle, go, hey, that's something I'm powerful enough to overcome. Okay, things like that. Anyway, sorry. Forget the gym bro thing. But I swear to God, there's someone here that has a spirit guide that's like tough like that. I don't know. Anyways, but let's do Nature's Whispers before I embarrass myself more. Okay. Okay. Any other advice? Gym bro spirit guide. I just think of that character in, I don't know if any of you have seen Agretsuko, but there's a character that like screams the word protein all the time. Makes me think of that for some reason. Anyways, I don't know, funny. Fresh approach. When I was telling you pile 3, I'm like, I think you need to look at it in a different perspective. This has happened so many times today with every single pile. Like, there's always a card that pops out later that's like exactly what I was talking about earlier, that could come out like intuitively. Okay, so fresh approach is like approaching something from a new perspective. So I won't even reiterate it too much because I already kind of talked about that ad nauseum, but Pile 3, I'm telling you. Please maybe consider looking at your situation from a different perspective. Try tackling it in a new way. Make your own luck. Think of it as not a pain in my butt. Think of it as this is something that I can overcome. Okay. This is an opportunity to show what I'm made of, like I said before. Okay. And then we have the Woodland Wardens. Now I'm going to be thinking about Jim Bros all day. Anyways, I'll stop. Woodland Wardens. Okay. The Weasel and the Pine with introspection. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of a hermit vibe energies from this card. It's even number 9 as well, which is, you know, the hermit card in tarot. And what that card usually means is needing to go within ourselves to gain some truth. So it's, once again, I'm reminded, pile 3, like maybe someone else had kind of tarnished your opinion of this, tarnished your opinion of yourself, or tarnished your opinion of the situation. And like, that's kind of what got you running or wanting to just leave it behind, like just to drop it like a hot potato and skedaddle, right? So it's like listening to too much to things outside of yourself rather than within yourself. Okay. So I would almost maybe even meditate on this, pile 3. I would almost, suggest like all other outside opinions tossed out for a moment on the situation, because that can muddy things too. What do you personally think deep down about this? What have you seen about the situation? And what does that mean to you? Not what it means to your friend or your coworker or your family member, whoever's influencing your opinion, right? Which sometimes that can be a beneficial thing. We like having, you know, outside opinions. It helps, right, to get different perspectives. But sometimes there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and it can muddy everything and make us scared of things we don't need to be afraid of, okay? So think about your opinion with all other opinions not considered. And that might also make you see this as, oh yeah, that is a challenge I can overcome. Why would I want to run away from this? Maybe this will really lead to a good thing rather than the scary monster I think that is chasing me. Okay. And that will bring more harmony to things. And that will bring you forward momentum on your journey. Okay. Because that ship, pile 3 over here, I know you can't really see it, it's covered, but like I said, that's the outcome I asked your spirit guide. It was like, represent the outcome with that card, and the ship came up. And what that means to me is that should you choose to face this instead of run, it will lead to a lot more forward momentum in the future. Now, say it's a job, it'll give you a skill that'll get you a promotion, for example. I'm trying to think of like other tangible examples. Say it's like you having started a new job and maybe you kind of feel like right now, it's not the best thing ever, but like you give it more of a chance. It could lead to a really great place to work that maybe just at first kind of had a bad impression. Things like that, pile 3, of course, you know, reconfigure that for your own situation and your own scenario, but yeah. So keep going. Make your own luck. See the silver lining. Try a fresh approach. Think of it in a different way. Introspect a little bit more. And I think that will alleviate your worries more than just running away from the problem. Okay. So that is what I leave you with today, my wonderful pile 3. If you didn't already run off when I was making Jim Bro jokes, hopefully you enjoyed that. Or hopefully you didn't run off earlier when I was like, you know, don't be a weenie. That might have offended some people. So we'll see in the comments below how that turns out. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it resonated. And if you did like it and it did resonate, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you in the next reading, whether that be another Blossoms and Blessings reading this week or at least sometime in the future somewhere. Okay. Bye, pile 3.